Igniting Community, a safe space to learn, share, and grow. Don't forget to like and subscribe below.
Hello, Igniting Community sisters. It is an honor and privilege to meet you in this space. My name is Alicia Ha. I, like you, am a woman on a journey of self-discovery and returning home to my true essence and belonging. Before we dive in, I wanted to make this first video as an introduction to who I am and how I got to this iteration of me and what lights the fire in my step each day. I am joyful, ambitious, gentle, adventurous, and persistent. I wanted you to get a sense of who I am based on these words before giving you what my vocation or my life status is. So often we always introduce ourselves based on what we do and what roles we play in our world. And so I wanted to give you some of those words just to kind of lean into who I am before giving you the other stuff. So I am a single Chinese woman who proudly turned 50 recently. I am an aunt of 2 human nieces and an aunt to 1 fur niece. And in 2017, I actually left my career as a structural engineer and began exploring what living my life should look like. At the time, I was haunted by this single thought. What if I am living, or what if I'm not living up to my fullest potential, and I'm just wasting my life away by living someone else's expectations? I started down the road by joining a network marketing company, selling and educating people on the benefits of essential oils. At around the same time, I also launched a side business of baking cakes and cupcakes for special occasions. And I also got a job at my local church. So just really trying to feel out different areas of things that bring me joy and light my world up. The other thing was I was always fascinated by the self-help industry. And that might be because of my influence with Oprah and having her while I was growing up, just her challenging me always to grow and evolve and try to become better. And um, so then just before the pandemic, so in 2020, I actually joined over 3,800 women in Toronto at a 3-day conference hosted by Rachel Hollis called Rise. Now, this event was the catalyst to where we are today. On the very last day of conference, for reasons to this day we have no idea, I was randomly chosen by Rachel to share if I had a personal goal I wanted to reach. At the time, I was my heaviest in weight. I didn't have the nerve to admit it to myself, and I was really good at avoiding cameras and mirrors like the plague. And if I had to take photos, I was usually the one that would be in the middle, being flanked by friends on either side, and that in order to just shield the excess weight that I was carrying. And so at this conference, Rachel asked me a simple question. She had said, "What is something that you can't even imagine a world where you would do this thing?" And my unfiltered answer was dance on stage. Still not sure why that was the thing that came out of my mouth that day, but it has propelled me on this journey of a year and a half later, with some of the weight gone now. And I've been able to work through, and I've been sharing a lot of my journey on social media. But more importantly than that, that spontaneous admission actually has paved the way to a brand new journey of self-discovery, of self-acceptance, and of self-love. And has also led to my passion for helping others to get healthy and to see their beauty and embrace it in your very own way, all while having fun. That's super important. I think, that's been part of my past journey, is where it wasn't fun and it was very difficult. And so I'm super, super passionate about wanting to make it fun and exciting. So, with that catalyst, I am now a Zumba and Strong Nation instructor. Um, as well, I am a licensed facilitator for the Desire Map and heart-centered workshops and retreats that are focused on reaching achievable goals, tapping into your truest and deepest feelings, and ultimately helping you live the life you've always wanted to live. So welcome to Carbs and Mirrors. So I chose this title because these are the things I struggle with most. You'll see I didn't say I don't struggle with them or I used to struggle with them. No, I still struggle with them. And so it was very intentional on when I chose this title, because I wanted to create a space where we can chat about all things health and beauty related, and more importantly, where things have gotten off track in the health and wellness space. And I hope that you will join me on this journey to discovering how we can embrace carbs and mirrors again without any shame or blame, guilt, or judgment. And so before I begin any session, whether it's virtual or in person, I always want to make sure that we create a safe container where we can really dish out the truth, we can spill the tea, and with no BS. So in order to do that, the first thing we need to create, starting today, is a permission slip. I really love this concept that Brene Brown shared in her book, Dare to Lead. I believe as adults that we often feel like we don't have the permission to be bad at something when we're new at it. We don't have the permission to ask questions because we think it will make us look stupid because we're supposed to have all the answers. Or we sometimes feel like we don't have the permission to even belong to a group like this, right? And so what I'd love for us to do on this very first segment is I want you to take out a blank piece of paper. And so you can feel free to pause the video, go and grab a pen and a piece of paper, because I have a few things I want you to write out. So I want you to write out on your piece of paper the following. I want you to write out, I give myself permission to suck. Yep, there you go. I want you to write that down, because a lot of times we don't give ourselves permission to be really crappy at something, especially when we first start. Like, we always put this huge expectation on ourselves, thinking that we have to do it perfectly, or we have to do it right, or that we have to look a certain way when we're trying out something new. But the reality is you're trying something new, and you don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to do it perfectly. You don't need to know it all, right? I want you to give yourself permission to suck. So next, I want you to write down, I give myself permission to eat carbs without guilt, shame, or judgment. Yeah, I want you to embrace this, that you're giving yourself permission to eat carbs without the guilt, shame, or judgment. And we'll kind of go through this and that, and we'll define all the things, because I think there's a lot of misnomer on what carbs are, and where people just say, oh, well, I'm carb free, or I'm this, or whatever. And so anyways, I want you to give yourself permission to eat carbs. Okay, the next thing I want you to write is, I give myself permission to see my own beauty in the mirror. I'll say that again. I give myself permission to see my own beauty in the mirror. I want you to go to the mirror today, anytime after this video, and just look in the mirror at yourself in this current moment. Because I want you to know that you are beautiful just as you are in this very, very moment. And that you don't have to look like a certain thing or a certain way or have lost X amount of weight or whatever it is. I want you to really see yourself. And by looking in the mirror, I really mean by you looking into your eyes, and that in looking deeper than just the surface parts of yourself, right? A lot of times we focus really just on the external. But when you look into your own eyes in the mirror, you can actually see the internal beauty. And so I want you to see yourself in that. And then the last thing that I want you to write is, I give myself permission to belong. A lot of times in that, I was saying, right, like we feel like we don't have the permission to belong in a space like this. I believe that you've been drawn to this community for a reason, and so I want you to write down that you have the permission to belong here, just as you are. You don't have to be a certain way or know a certain thing or act a certain way. None of that. I want you to know you belong here as you are. Now, once you have all 4 statements on that sheet, feel free to add any other permissions that you need to give to yourself, right? And when you're done, I want you to sign it. Yep, you're going to autograph it like a movie star, and you're going to put today's date on it because that is your declaration to yourself. Now, you're going to take this piece of paper and you're going to place it somewhere where you're going to see it every day. Now, this could be if you have a morning routine and you have a desk that you work at, you can put it there. If you need to, you could put it on your fridge if that's a place that you will see. Just find any place, even the mirror in your bathroom, say for example, is another great place to put this, because I just want you to remind yourself that you have given yourself permission to show up for your life, and not someone else's, but your very own. So that's it for today. I really look forward to spending time with you here as your guide, facilitator, sister, friend, and just journey partner in discovering and redefining what healthy and beautiful looks and feels like for each of us. I want you to know that these segments are as much yours as they are mine. As I mentioned, I am on this journey with you, and I hope to learn from as many of you as well. If there's ever a topic or thing that you want me to talk about or research on, please reach out. And with that, I hope that you'll connect with me on my personal Instagram page. It's at miss.alicia.ha. Or drop me an email at carbsandmirrors@gmail.com. Again, if you missed any of those contact details in that, all my contact information is written out in the descriptions below. And so let's stay connected on social and keep the conversation going. And you can find out when my next workshops and retreats are happening. I'm so happy and excited to have you along this journey with me, because I firmly believe that life is meant to be enjoyed in community. So until next time, know that I'm cheering you on because I believe in you.